Well, run a recovery mission. First buck of the triax. After I missed one, as soon as I got in the stand at 36 yards, I put it at 40. Went right over his back. I said, doggone it. By the end of the night, I seen a doe come in, and a big old buck was right behind her, bigger than the one I missed. I put it on my 30, and old triax did some work. We're about to go do the recovery mission, so let's see this big old deer.
Got the whole family with us here. Can't see you, but they're there. See the green glow. There you go, we got some blood. What do we got here? Oh, we broke it off.
Snipe.
What are you shooting?
Oh man.
You know, we don't use anything else but Grim Reaper broadheads. The only place no special. Obviously, you see why.
I mean, you just shot him. How far from here? Like instantly.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, he's bringing that way.
Need to do some work.
Yeah, as soon as I shot the arrow came right out. Well, obviously it broke off.
Yeah.
The arrow broke right off, so by the time I got off, crap, I seen him wobbling and he got caught up. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'll just take it.
Yeah. There he is. Good job, buddy.
Holy crap. That's an awesome sight right there.
So hold him up. You hit him in the leg? No. Someone hit him in the leg.
That might have been me. My bad.
Yeah, baby.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
he's a stud.
Nice.
Crab claw too. Oh, he had two insides.
Yeah, I named this buck Inside because of his inside G3s, but he busted this side off. I said if I shot him, I'm going to get it replicated, so I guess I got to have Tom and Pioneer do that for me.
So what happened here, you think, Code?
Well, you see, what had happened was, that's a 40-yard shot with uncontrollably shaking.
From his brother.
Yeah.
Right there, shoulder.
Yeah, my bad on that one.
That was a nice deer.
Thank you.
Good job.
Turn his head around a little bit.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, look, come in here. Look how
Sure.
webbed he is right here.
Oh, yeah.
Right there and right here. This doesn't even feel real.
Well, it is. Favorite crab claw.
Good mass.
He's massive all the way out.
Got her done, finally. Been a rough season after my #1 hitless buck Colossus got shot. This is my #2. Missed one right off the bat this evening, but obviously there's some other plans for me. Such a cool buck. He's pulling pretty good.
Oh, snap. You right up there?
Yeah, oh, that was the whole stinking board.
Holy crap. Alright, we're not doing that anymore.
No? Hey, that's easy to remove now, though.
did not expect that to happen. I've hung deer from out
Wow.
a number of times.
Well, I'm glad you didn't come down.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Holy crap. Got the 225,
I'll
wasn't
fix
even
it
off the
later.
ground. I cannot believe I just snapped.
Yeah, that was a little bit sketchy up here. You feel the rafters shaking around like, woo-hoo-hoo!
Well guys, here he is. This is my number 2 hit list buck. My number 1 buck, Colossus, ended up getting shot, and this was my number 2. Last night was actually pretty rough. Right off the bat, I missed a 9-point. I just went from having confidence to just the lowest of lows, and then last light, this guy came in. He's an 11, but he's got his G3, or it's one called a G2, busted off. It was just like this side, just all thick and all curved up. It's super cool though. You can see, I call this deer inside because his G3 is on the inside of his main beam. You can just see how webbed it is right here. But this side was just a spitting image of it. I'm estimating him to be about 5.5 years old. See how white his thinking like head is too. It's all blonde in there. From his body size, his rack, I'm guessing he's about 5.5 to 6. Just an awesome buck. I think he's around mid 140s, maybe 150s, around 150 if that time wasn't broke there. But just such an awesome buck. It's been a rough year. Last week has actually been pretty rough on us. My mom, she's been sick here recently, and then my grandpa, he ended up passing away. And it's just nice to get a buck on the ground and lift some spirits in the house on front of the property. But what I used is this nasty little booger here, Grim Reaper 2-inch whitetail special. After the shot, he maybe ran 30 yards and dropped right in his tracks. I literally watched him fall. Watch him drop. That's what they say with them things. And that's the first buck I ever took with the Triax. Bought that bow last year. Heck of a first buck with this new bow. I'm beyond happy to take this guy. Awesome deer, and I couldn't be happier. So time to take him to Piney Wood and have Tom cut him up for me, get him out.
People are coming in from Cleveland and stuff like that.
Well guys, we're going to give you a tour of our living room here, aka our game room. We're going to start down here on the end on this goofy guy we call Roadrunner. My dad and my grandpa ended up hitting this deer. No, a car in front of him ended up hitting it, and they ended up taking him, ended up getting him mounted. Just a cool, gnarly side. Must have got hit before previous year or something and grew all kind of goofy. Next one over here is a buck we call Gimpy. My dad shot him 4 or 5 years ago. Been chasing him for 2 or 3 years. And he's just so gnarly. This one side is all flat. Super cool buck. He's got a drop tine over here. Ended up finding his sheds from the previous year. I'm not sure where they ran off to. But he was super happy to take that guy. That is my personal best 12-point. He scored 163 inches. Shot him back in 2019 the second day of season. Got a cool little double bib down there too. Another hook and aggressive. Right over the TV, looks real nice. The hook and aggressive on the right is one of my dad's. Another 10-point that he shot. And this giant 8-point is a 8-point that my dad shot in 2019 as well. Another 2019 buck here is my mom's. Nice 10-point. That was shot on the second weekend. Another nice 10 that my dad shot. Down here we got the bows. Nice yoke. Nice giant shed. That's one of our bucks is still on camera this year. Hopefully somebody gets a hold of him. Call him Mega. Just giant 9-point. Got a few more decent bucks over here. That 8 there, my dad shot a while ago. This 7 I shot back when I was a junior in high school. I think that was 2017. This is right here. My girlfriend Bailey made this. These are all the bucks I got taken in 2019. So the starters, mine the first weekend, mom's the second weekend, my dad's was November 17th. Bailey's, that was a 4th weekend, I think. Uncle Rory, Uncle Rocky, good friend Mickey, then my brother, December 20th, second gun. Just an awesome year. 1, 2, 3 deer on this wall are from 2019. Everybody shot their personal best, but I think one person. It was a heck of a year. Over here in this corner, we got my mom's very first buck here on the bottom. Pretty neat 8-point, real low and wide. Cool thing about this thing is actually both antlers were like super dark, and so was his hide, but unfortunately that being next to the window, sitting here a while, he ended up getting all lightened up. This buck actually made the hunt regulations book. We didn't know it, but our close family friend Mickey actually found it, and sure enough, so we ended up framing it. And she's famous again here. Yep, there she is with her massive 13-inch crappie. She's just a sucker for the regulations, I guess. But anyways, back here. This top buck was the personal best buck on our property for a while. My Uncle Jimmy shot. Got a pretty cool hole in the horn here. But he shot it actually right off the corner of our house during gun season. My dad seen him below the house. He already shot a buck, so ended up coming in from the woods and ended up shooting him with a shotgun. And this is my buck I took last year. Just a super awesome, cool buck. This one side's all gnarly. He had a big old drop tine that came down right here by his eye, and his ear was hanging all down. I seen him in velvet a whole bunch and got some cool video of him, but unfortunately, when I picked him up after I shot him, he busted it off. Just got a massive stinking 8-inch brow tine, just super cool buck. And the last two here in this corner, that was the very first buck that my dad shot on our property here. And that's another really cool 6-point. He's all busted up. Actually got a little drop tine starting to form there, but this is super cool, gnarly 6. One more thing I wanted to say here is that every single buck in this room is done by Pineywood Taxidermy in Mogador. Even that one, and that one's from 20 years ago or so, still looks phenomenal. He does such an awesome job, and I will never go to anybody else. He just look at that thing. That was last year's. Looks just so realistic. He does an awesome job. Worth every penny. Here's another buck my Uncle Jimmy shot. This is actually a Pennsylvania buck. Another cool hole in the horn. This is the only buck that is not done by Pineywood in our house. This little guy right here was actually my very first compound buck I ever shot years ago. Hanging on this little mountain that my dad ended up making himself. Not much to look at for racks, so I ended up dipping them. This is my first buck I ever dipped, too. Kind of pretty awesome. If you guys are interested in to learn that, my dad can do a how-to video, and we can show you how to do it. Just slides right on there like so. Hangs on there perfect. But yep, that was my first compound buck. And right here is the biggest shed I ever found. Called this buck Trash Can. After I found this shed, we ended up finding out that he came to our property the year after I found this. Call it buck Trash Can. Like I said, he's just a giant. He's got kickers everywhere. But didn't find his other side. And unfortunately, nobody shot him. He just kind of disappeared off the property. Would have loved to know what happened to that giant. And last but not least, my first buck I ever shot. Shot this buck back in 2011 when I was 10 years old. You see his summer fur starting to go out there. But another one done by Pineywood. Like I said, we've been going to him for so long. His buck still looks like I just got him last year. Well, guys, as you can see, our living room is pretty jam-packed. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to put my 11 from this past year that I just shot a couple of days ago. We'll have to do some deer Jenga and do some swapping. But if you look at the TV, that was my #1 hitless buck, Colossus. I ended up getting shot. I should pull up a picture real quick. As much as I talk about this deer, I mean, that's absolute giant. It's about 180s class buck, 7-year-old buck. Going from that giant to shooting this buck, he was definitely a giant. Here's a picture of him. That neighbor ended up shooting. Just absolute giant. As much as I talk about this buck, I'm beyond so take the buck I just shot. I mean, I'd shoot that deer year after year. It's just a great buck, but I just want to show you guys what the buck I was originally after this whole season. We've had him on camera for the past 3 years, but this new buck I just shot, he showed up about a month ago, and just super happy to take him. If you check out my hoodie here, it's Legendary TV. My good buddy Dakota Miller, he ended up starting his own TV show and whatnot for hunting, and you guys can go check it out, Legendary TV on Instagram, or you can look it up on Google. He has his own merch and his own website. You can buy everything, whether it be from hats to hoodies and other long sleeve shirts and whatnot, t-shirts. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Obviously we have Broncos, but it's bucks and trucks, so we try to do a bunch of Bronco stuff, a bunch of hunting stuff. Finally got some good content for hunting, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a little different variety of videos, but hope you guys liked it, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.